Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Charity Gaming Challenge, Episode 5. Tonight, I am joined by Remy, Raging Acadian Casey. Remy, thanks for being on the show, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me over.
So, would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what it is that you do?
Sure. So I go by Raging Acadian for gamer tag purposes, but my name is Remy. I help organize the local fighting game events. So mostly involved with Street Fighter, and in the past the tournament at Frag for fighting games. So mostly, and also Battle by the Bridge, which we haven't done this year due to some venue issues, but hopefully bringing it back in the future. And mostly, help organize some local fighting game events and a couple online groups there.
Right on, man. So, which games specifically do you organize? Do you organize like a big group of them, or?
So for Battle by the Bridge, normally we invited the Smash guys over, and they held their side of the event. And then for our side, I would organize, depending on the year. Like that's the thing with fighting games; they tend to change over time. The last event we had that had multi-fighting games, we had Guilty Gear, Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, Blaze Blue, and I feel like I'm missing them. I want to say we held Tekken as well. Yes, Tekken 7.
Nice.
But like I'm not all of these games have their different coordinators and groups. I'm mostly involved with Street Fighter, a little bit of Dragon Ball locally, and that's about it right now.
Right on, man. Right on. So, what happened with, you said there was a venue issue with Battle by the Bridge. That was traditionally at the Dartmouth Sports Complex, right?
Yeah, so they've been renovating for the year, so just the room we rented isn't around for rental this year. And due to my scheduling this year, I didn't quite manage to find a venue in time for that time of year, so we're just kind of passed for this year.
Okay, right on, man, right on. Where do you guys play locally, normally?
Normally, it can be a few different places. Most of the fighting game groups have been meeting at the Last Game Store for the past few years, depending on which game would be a different night or schedule. But the Street Fighter group has mostly been meeting at Last Game Store, I want to say, since the Street Fighter 4 days, so around 2009, 2010, somewhere around there.
Right.
It's currently on hiatus right now, but we'll be having ad hoc events at Last Game Store, and then the other events are kind of, again, ad hoc, just kind of spring up when we can organize them and kind of tell the people through the online groups that we have there, which is usually the main congregation point.
Okay, cool. Where can we find you guys online?
So for Street Fighter for Halifax, you can join the Street Fighter Halifax group. It's a pretty straightforward name. You should be pretty easy to find. If you're interested in anime games, you can join the Halifax Blaze Blue Association. And there's a few other groups out there for Tekken. Locally for pretty much any fighting game that you're into, there's someone out there hosting a group. And most of the local events can be found through there.
Nice.
We're trying to find ways to expand into, more current methods. So we're hoping to get some Discord set up, some official Discord set up. Some groups already have them. The Street Fighter group's kind of late on that. And trying to look at some other platforms that people congregate on, I guess.
Yeah, man, Discord is huge now. Like, I know I've been using it for, I started one for the Charity Gaming Challenge, and it's been real cool to be able to interact with people on Discord with like it's because it's just like one giant Facebook group chat, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like we're most of us are definitely involved in all the fighting games already have Discord groups that you can join. Just specific to Halifax, we don't really have any of the local organizers hosting a group yet. But like if you're into fighting games, Discord definitely is the place to check it out right now for sure.
Right on, man.
Like if you want to talk with other people to try and learn, that's the place to check it out.
Yeah. So your big game is Street Fighter, yeah?
At this point, yes, I'd say like Street Fighter is definitely the one I have the most experience with. I started playing fighting games around when Street Fighter 4 came out, and tried to learn them proper and started traveling. I lived in New Brunswick at the time, started traveling to Halifax for some tournaments, and yeah, so just in terms of my personal experience is definitely where I have the most.
Okay, right on. Who do you main in Street Fighter? Do you have one?
Uh, well, it's always been Sagat, but he wasn't in Street Fighter 5 until last week. So up until then, Nakuma and Nakali.
Right on. So you must have been. How was your reaction like at Evo when Sagat got announced?
Well, the original reveal at Capcom Cup this year, like the surprise reveal, where in years prior they showed like a season pass and would reveal the first character and then just kind of show you silhouettes for the rest. And then
Okay.
this year they kind of trolled that they were going to do that again, and then showed a trailer that showcased all the new characters coming out. And at the very end of that was a Sagat section. I lost it there. Like I knew he'd be coming back, but like I was, I was wondering like if they change him drastically or whatever. Um, but then the Evo trailer like didn't surprise me as much. It was mostly the fact that like at the end of that trailer, it was revealed that they were going to release the very next day, which was, very nice of them. And
Yeah.
I was definitely excited at that point. Made for a very long day though, but
Oh man, yeah. I guess so. Did you watch Evo and then immediately go and start playing Sagat?
well, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I had to work the next day, but then
Hmm.
the moment I got back from work, yeah, downloaded them, and started figuring it out. I don't know that he's my most competitively viable character yet, but hopefully at some point.
Okay, right on. Any big changes between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5?
Well, I mean, it's mostly system changes, right? Like in terms of, I was very surprised how they brought him back. This gets a little technical, but he has a technique called Kara canceling, which was brought back for Street Fighter 4, which seemed a little complex for the way that they're trying to keep Street Fighter 5. So I wasn't really expecting them to have that like very intentionally in there. For those that aren't familiar, Kara cancel is mostly just canceling the animation of a special move that grants you a movement property into an attack. So Sagat gets to like glide on the ground a little bit while throwing fireballs. So he gets to move forward while throwing fireballs,
Oh wow.
which isn't a thing that I thought that they'd let him have.
Yeah, no, that's wild. So that's something unique to Sagat. No other character can do that.
Usually it's as more of a system thing, but in this game, it's very intentionally designed that Sagat can do that, whereas no other character really can now.
Right on, man. Yeah, no, I'm a Street Fighter novice myself. I'm looking to get into it. I like to watch the big tournaments.
Yeah,
I watch Evo and I watch CEO every year, Capcom Cup,
yeah,
and
those are like the big three for sure.
yeah, and I'm just like I decided, you know what? I'm finally gonna get into Street Fighter. I'm gonna pick it up. I was in an arcade
Oh, nice.
and I was playing because I was in an arcade and I was playing Street Fighter 3. They had an old Street Fighter 3 arcade cabinet, and I was
Okay.
getting absolutely eviscerated by this kid. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god, he was playing. He was playing. I'm pretty sure he was playing Zangief, and he was playing Zangief. I had no idea what to do. Like I was terrible because my only experience playing Street Fighter originally was when I was a kid. I played Super Street Fighter 2 on
Yeah,
Super
that one
Nintendo.
has Zangief. But
Pardon?
Street Fighter 3 on the arcade doesn't have Zangief. It replaced them with Hugo, which is like
Okay.
a giant potato dude.
All right. I was
Uh,
playing Street Fighter 2 then. That's my mistake.
yeah, Street
Uh,
Fighter 2 will have Zangief, and that's a little rougher.
oh man, yeah, I was getting absolutely eviscerated by him. Like I had no idea what to do, and it would just seem like he'd get on top of me and he grabbed me twice and I was dead. And that was
That's the pace of Street Fighter 2.
yeah, man. It's super fast because I remember playing it as a kid, but nobody in my neighborhood was any good at it, so it felt
Oh, yeah.
fair.
Well, and that's the way most people experienced it, right? Like outside of people that grew up in larger centers that had viable arcade scenes. For myself, I grew up in pretty remote area, so it was just me and the neighborhood kids, and like the best combo we had was a jump in kick and a sweep kick, and that was it. And that that was pretty much
Yeah.
all we did. It wasn't until Street Fighter 4 came out. And around that time, like I learned that there were a tournament scene and started looking into it and figuring it out that I ever got any deeper than that into fighting games.
Dude, what was your first tournament experience like?
My first tournament experience was me and a friend driving to St. John from Moncton in New Brunswick, showing up and having about 6 or 7 other local guys show up for the tournament. This was a small group that we all agreed to do like a round robin.
Yeah.
And the only win I had was the friend I brought there with me. And
Man.
we came home thinking like, oh, we need to learn how to move. These guys are dashing. These guys, like, we were very, very much at the basics still of just we were getting knocked down and doing an uppercut with Ken and thinking, we'll see where that goes.
Oh man, that was going to be my strategy later tonight, so I got to mix things up now.
Oh yeah, well it's all that's part of it is that's part of the magic of fighting games is that the very first basic things you learn not to do become effective again at the top level again. Like it's a whole psychological kind of game after a while.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that always blows me away when I watch. I watch and I think, how does he get away with that? But then I realize that the reason he gets away with it is because there's 7 things he could have done, and his opponent guessed wrong.
And also the expectation of, well, if it's the dumb option, you're expecting you're over respecting your opponent, and you're thinking he's going to do the safer option. You're not prepared for the dumb option, quote unquote dumb option, but
Yeah.
like the option that you wouldn't that isn't as safe and that a beginner would probably be more likely to do in that scenario. But then because you're giving too much respect to your opponent, you're kind of blindsided by it.
So the better you get, the worse you're allowed to play. That's
in a sense.
Yeah.
Like in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. So how do you do now when you go out to tournaments?
Locally, I'm usually pretty good threat, either winning or getting into the finalists.
Nice.
Depending on the game. I mean, like Street Fighter isn't always my main focus. Like lately, I've been playing a lot more Guilty Gear or Dragon Ball Fighters, and stuff like that. So it really depends. But I usually do pretty well locally. Evo, I've never made it past pools. I've always made it to the finals of my pools, but always fell just short.
Dude, it's tough, man. How many
Yeah.
people went to Evo this year? Like 3,000 or something in what was the
Street
biggest
Fighter?
game?
The biggest game was
Just
Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball?
Fighters.
Yeah.
And it was, I want to say, just over 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the numbers kind of flattened out a little bit from the first year it went to the Mandalay Bay. That was the last year I went, where it was the first year of Street Fighter 5, and they had around 5,000 people for Street Fighter that year.
Yeah, that's wild. I was looking at some numbers, and 2016, for whatever reason, was huge for fighting games all across the board. Like,
Yeah, like the amount of people that went for that one specifically was very big, and then
Yeah.
like it kind of settled back down a little bit.
yeah, it was wild. Like, it was everybody, because I remember everyone thinking, oh my gosh, this is it. Fighting games are here. Like, it's only going to grow from here. We're going to have 5,000 this year and 55 next year and 6 the year after. And I mean,
Yeah, and that didn't quite come to pass. Like it's pretty much kind of just mostly stabilized now. Instead of that, it kind of got a big spike and then came down a little bit and stabilized. Which I don't know. We'll see. Like Dragon Balls was a big influx, but again, it was kind of fighting games definitely have a stigma of being hard to get into, and that's justified because they're still very terrible about teaching you how to play. Like it's almost like if from playing a first-person shooter campaign to when you went into played a multiplayer match, you still had never actually had to aim at a person and shoot them to be effective. Like it's that's almost like how unprepared they leave you coming into anyone that knows how they work. If you're brand new, so they still have a very beginner problem. So that's why like we try to encourage people to join our groups if you're interested, talk to us, mostly through playing and having someone point out some of the basics. It goes a long way.
Yeah, man, I've been dying to get to a weekly meetup. I initially lived in Halifax, but I'm now living in Cape Breton. So you
nice out there.
Oh yeah, it's super nice. Like this summer has been great too. But I'm dying to get back to the city and start playing again with everyone, because like I want to learn and I want to get into it. You guys, your next big tournament is Frag for Cancer, you said, that you're running?
We are. There's been some, issues with that event where I'm not sure quite what the status is at the moment. There's a few other local events that are being hosted. Again, I'm kind of a little unprepared here in terms of what our upcoming events are. But if you want to look at them, again, our local Facebook group, Street Fighter Halifax Plays Blue Association, we'll have more information there.
Well, you're always welcome to come out to the CGC.
Yes, we will definitely be there as well. See, that's the other event I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
No, I'll definitely be at that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm very excited for that. How many players do you think you could expect?
I'll know more closer to the event once I get a feel for the polls. But I mean, Dragon Balls is usually a big draw. Tekken's, it has its own crowd that it pulls in, and then Street Fighter as well. So hopefully, should be a good bunch.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And for anybody watching right now, the Charity Gaming Challenger Series is on October 20th, and we've got a huge slew of fighting games, like Rami just mentioned, Street Fighter, Tekken, Dragon Ball Fighters. We've also got Super Smash Brothers, Melee, Smash 4, Smash 64, Hearthstone's going to be there. I think maybe we're in the talks to have Rivals of Aether there as well. It's one of the other big Smash platform clone.
Yeah, the platform fighters, yeah.
Yeah, so... if you guys are looking to get into that, $20 and you can play whatever games you want. You can enter in any bracket.
Oh, so, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
so that's a good way to get people to try other things as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figure. I figure it'd be cool, especially. I'm not gonna lie, it's just really selfish on my part. I haven't been able to get up to Halifax to play Street Fighter or Dragon Ball Fighters or anything. So. Yes. I just said, I'm going to host a tournament. I'm going to have everything I want to play there. And then I was like, well, if I want to enter every game, everybody else has to be able to enter every game too. So I just said, you know what? That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, that's usually how it goes, right? The first event that I hosted was because the previous organizer stepped down, and we didn't really have anybody else to host an event, and I didn't really want to not have a tournament locally, so just kind of went from there.
So what was the first tournament that you hosted?
It was just some local tournaments at the last game store, but then started organizing the first Battle by the Bridge. So we did two of those that were of a decent size. Last year was pretty good, where we had a few arcade cabinet rentals on top, but we always wanted to find ways to improve the venue. We just couldn't. We're just a little bit limited in internet options and things like that.
Yeah, I remember. I attended Super Smash Brothers at the last two, and they were good. It seemed like everyone was having a great time.
Yeah, but, in terms of the event, as far as I know, it was positive for most attendees. I don't want everyone speaking absolutes, but. And yeah, those were very successful events from our end as well. We had plenty of attendees. Everyone, every tournament ran on time. We had no issue with equipment, other than, again, the internet options we had there were limited. But no, I'd do it again. Again, it was just the limitation of venue and schedule that kind of put us off track for this year.
So, Remy, let's talk a little bit about you. How did you get your start in video games? When did you first get into, like, what was the first game you ever played?
First game I played for me is Combat on the Atari.
Combat on the Atari. So what? I've never played that. I didn't have an Atari. What is Combat?
It's very simple, just like side-scrolling shooter and tank game. Like it goes back and forth for different screens. But it was very much just a trial. Like it's first by virtue of my father brought out an Atari, set it up in the living room one day, and let me play with it when I was around 3 or 4, and just to see if I liked it. And then I played that, and then the next day we had an NES with Super Mario. And so that's really where I got started from there, is with an NES.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. So what would you say, besides fighting games, are you playing anything else right now?
Right now, I'm trying to get through Dead Cells, which everybody else seems to like as well, and playing a little bit of what was I playing? Oh, the Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, because I played a lot of those games back in the day, and they were on sale not too long ago.
Dude, how ruthless is Baldur's Gate?
If you don't know what you're getting into, it's a very rough game. Like you're gonna have to quick save in between encounters a lot, and you're gonna have to know to kind of game the system a little bit with spells and stuff like that. So.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like I remember my first time trying to play through the original Baldur's Gate, and oh man, it was so rough.
If you don't know, like, well, for me, that's like I've never played, but that is how I learned the was through that game when I was 12 or something.
Yeah, man, you're walking through the woods and you get attacked by a wolf, and in every other game you've ever played, it's like, oh, it's the first enemy in the first room, like that's no big deal, and you run up to it and it hits you and you have 1 health left after the first hit, and you're like, oh god, where am I, what game, what have I got myself into, what is this?
Oh yeah, no, you're facing real dice rolls.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's Baldur's Gate is actually so sick. So Remy, you were saying earlier that you work with, before we started the interview, you work with tech. What do you do for work?
Yep. I'm a systems analyst with an airline, so I mostly look after flight data and build reporting applications and support some flight monitoring tools, stuff like that.
Oh, geez, man, that's interesting.
It can be, but it ends up being a lot of boring. Reports really in the end of the day. So
okay, right on. Let's fire up some Street Fighter. I had it up a second ago, but then it crashed on me, so I think I gotta launch it in low spec mode. Is that a general issue that you think comes up a lot?
I'm not sure. Like it's been the PC release has been a little rough at times for Street Fighter V. Like generally speaking, the community tends to be larger on the console side. If just because it's the tournament standard because it's logistically way easier to manage a bunch of, to get people to bring PS4s than PCs, which we then have to have drivers for each kind of controller and stuff like that. So it keeps the standard. So yeah, like for myself, for Street Fighter and most of the current fighting games, I mostly play them on PlayStation, even though I have a very capable PC here. But
yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Like the amount of ease that the consoles bring to running events as opposed to PC events is just, it's so big. Like you can't overstate enough how much easier it is.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, because like most PC events that are successful are you bring your PC and that'll be your station / console that you'll be playing on. But for fighting game events, we need people moving between different stations and stuff like that. So on a PC, it's not very logistically friendly. And then the last thing we would want is, we can replace a PS4 pretty easily if something happens. Replacing someone's rig would be,
pretty
would
costly.
be a guarantee. Would be a guarantee. I really want to put there.
Yeah, that would be super rough. So, Remy, how do I add you as a friend here? I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's gonna be through the CFN, which is the Capcom Fighters Network, which is through the game here. I can guide you through the moment I'm done logging in here. So I'm firing off the PS4 version, which that's one of the drawbacks is load times on consoles is a lot worse.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's fire this up. Let's see here. Pending CFN requests. Well, no, but
yeah, I think you're in the right area there.
Yeah. This menu is not as it's not as intuitive as I would have hoped it would have been.
No, like
everything is there except the add friend button. Oh, there we go. Is it favorites? Oh, Jesus Christ says rival search. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You have to go through the CFN button. And then, yeah, rival search.
Nice. Have you got a fighter ID or Steam ID?
Yeah, you can use a fighter ID. It's going to be Raging Acadian _ PS. Just because I created my first one on PC and then put _ PS for the PlayStation 1.
Oh, there you are.
Raid Squad. There we go.
Very nice.
Oh.
Favorite fighter profile.
Okay, so...
Yeah, Spamalanche.
Yes, that is me. I am
There we go.
Spamalanche.
Did you want me to host? Or?
Sure. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, I've only played around with arcade mode a little bit, so this is gonna be. I gotta get warmed up first.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Street Fighter V music.
It is very good. Like I am a bigger fan of the soundtrack for 5 than I was for 4. Like 4 went a little too it's almost every track was like an electronic track. And that's a little less my style. Like this one has actual guitar tracks, which I'm really fond of.
Yeah, dude, it's sick.
And then like if you play regularly, they've included like for myself, I have packs for the Street Fighter 2 original music or Mega Man music or Ghosts and Goblins music and stuff are thrown in there.
So I am having an issue with my numbers right now. Everyone watching the stream can see that my total follower count keeps flipping upside down on me. It's okay. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, so how... I feel really stupid. You just sent me an invite.
Yeah, go back to the main menu.
Yep.
And then the icon on the top left, I want to say. It should be log or action log.
Message log, yeah, there it is.
Message log, yes.
Yes, alright, awesome. Loading in now. Oh, dude, you can have a bunch of people in the...
Yeah, you can have up to 8, and the way that it works is like a King of the Hill style. So whoever wins the set will stay, and then you'll get kicked to the bottom of the queue.
Nice. Maybe after the challenge, we could bring some other people in.
Sure. Anyone that wants to get in there and get it a try, I'm more than willing to send them an invite. And certain other games have moved the format forward a little bit, even where you can have up to 4 games in a room going, and then get people swapping in between sets.
Dude, that's actually awesome. That is super cool.
Yeah, that is like Dragon Ball will allow you to have 2 people in a match at the same time. Whereas like Guilty Gear will let you have 3 or 4.
Wow. So what's the current iteration of Guilty Gear? Is it Guilty Gear Xrd or Zerd?
Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator 2.
Revelator 2, okay. So is that the 3rd iteration of Xrd?
Yes. It's basically it's the 3rd revision technically, because it came out Xrd, and then an updated version called Revelator came out, and then Revelator 2.
Okay. Right on. Now,
Sagat.
I seem to be... Alright. Let's do it! Oh man.
Sure.
I was playing against Sagat in arcade mode earlier today, and it was, he's got such long range.
We got the Christmas stage because I hit random select.
Oh man, you know what? Christmas in August.
Yep.
I think Christmas in July is like a song or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just a flip for a sage that I forgot to turn off. But...
No words are not needed.
Okay.
Come on.
So.
Let's turn up the heat.
Come on.
Round 1. Fight.
I'm gonna be a little gentle at first here.
Thank you. Oh.
This is the technique I was talking about earlier, where you can move forward while throwing projectiles.
Right.
Or tiger move.
Oh, dang it. Oof. Oh. Oh, is it? No, not yet. Ah, that's it. Right on. Yeah, so
well, your approach is good. Like the first beginner mistake usually jump a lot, which is like an easily to counter tactic. It's especially inviting on a character that's putting projectiles on the screen like this.
Right.
But yeah, like you standing on the ground and being patient is definitely the better option.
Ooh. Oh, I gotta block more. Oh boy.
Yep. Yeah, like for example, like after you do that Tatsu,
Yeah.
it's my turn, because if you hit a button, I'll beat you every time.
Oh, I get you.
That's what it's called, being at a disadvantage.
Right.
Frame.
So I have frame disadvantage there because you've blocked my move.
Yes. Certain moves will put you at an advantage, certain moves will put you at a disadvantage. Like a sweep will generally give you an advantage on a knockdown opponent.
Right. Yeah, because then you're on the ground and I'm... Oh no, I ran the time. Oh, dang.
No.
I looked at the timer. That's not something that I remember. Yeah. Okay,
No, but it's good to check. It's good to check once in a while. Like it's not, you know, you shouldn't spend your time staring at the timer. But yeah, it's good to look at it once in a while to know how much time you got.
Yeah. So I thought I had fixed that issue, but it still seems that we're a little bit choppy on the stream.
Cool.
I apologize to everyone for that. I'm not quite sure what is causing it this time.
It's go time.
Anyway, okay, so So what's my game plan then as a new player? What should I be focusing on most if I'm trying to improve my game?
Okay. Let's see. You mostly want to find ways to attack that without taking too much risk, and also what are your character's effective ranges. That sounds more complicated than it is, but I'll pick Ken here and kind of showcase that as well.
Hey, I was waiting for you. Ken. Hey.
Oh, cool costume.
Yeah, I definitely buy more of those than I should.
Man, it's tough. They're so cool. Is there not... Does Rashid have an airman costume?
It's not completed yet. Like basically that's like a weekly event that you have to complete. There's 4 weeks running, so there's 3 pieces out now. And next week the costume, like if you've done all the lead ups to it, next week you'll be able to unlock it.
Dude, it looks so cool. Like I saw it and I just was like, oh man,
I have all the
amazing.
pieces, so I'm definitely getting it when that comes in.
Yeah.
But so it can, like, this is his, like, these are like how he approaches, right? Whereas like the sweep that you're doing there,
Right.
is a lot riskier, right? Like, do it on me when I'm blocking and see what happens, right?
Oh, you just right.
But it like something like a medium kick, like as long as I keep hitting you, see, you're gonna keep hitting me. Like whoever hits will keep having advantage.
Right. I get you. Especially now that I'm in the corner.
But even on block here, like you won't be able to punish me. So you know, I'm trying to walk forward, but
Right.
those are more effective. And then from there, you know, you want to learn how to cancel them into specials or ways to maximize what you're getting out of landing those buttons.
Okay. So
But Ken in this game is kind of like his strength is, you know, rush down pressure, and then he can make you very scared of a throw. And stuff like
Oh! Oh man, that was awesome.
so that's his like basic like throw trap. Like on a more advanced player, they like the reason they would have been there would have been because they were expecting a throw. Whereas like for you, you know, you're still gonna have to learn how to defend regular hits first.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh man, this is what it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be. I appreciate the help.
Yep. But I mean, like that's part of the you know the reason for me doing this as well is it helps put a showcase out there that maybe help somebody understand a little bit more about fighting games.
Oh, I definitely want to play again.
Yeah, this set as for like the lobby system will let you set the number of games to win the set, so you can have multiple ones. Ken's Fireball isn't as good a full screen tool as you would expect because it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't like he kind of wants to get in more than that. It's more of a tool outside of his ranges, this range here.
Okay.
Where people can't really react to it.
So cool.
And so like that's the basic flow of the game normally is on most hits you'll want to capitalize and try to knock them down and apply some pressure or a throw or anything. But, yeah, my
There we
Ken
go.
is not very good here, but
Right on.
and they even have little touches here like took the cape off but now I have antlers.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Holy! Oh man, I'm gonna have a blast hanging out in training mode playing this game. Like, the amount of cool stuff you can do.
Yeah, like that's the thing with fighting games. It's like once you start being able to do things, they feel really good.
Oh, and that's it.
That's a throw, right? So like in this case here, that you know, if you're expecting them to stand there and block.
Yeah, I was actually told by a friend today. He said, "Who's on stream tonight?" So anyway, I told him I was playing against you, and he says, "What are you playing? Street Fighter?" And then he said, "Every time you get knocked down, spam throw." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Just try and throw, because then if he tries to throw you, you'll break it and you'll be up."
That is like that is an advice that will work at the very basic level for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you develop these skills. Is like for most players at a tournament level or something like that would recognize that pattern relatively quickly and then start countering you for it.
Alright. Who else can I play here? Who did I play a lot in Street Fighter 2? Where's Guile? He's...
Guile is in the top right corner.
Yeah.
For myself here, I'm just gonna pick random select. Got Ryu. So.
That's a cool costume.
That is the school outfit for Ryu. Ryu, not the best in this version of the game.
See, I remember when the game first came out, he was really good.
Yes. The way that the game has evolved between system changes and how the game has progressed, like the meta strategies and stuff like that, definitely kind of don't favor him anymore.
This is the path of my destiny.
Yeah.
A lot of his damage got cut back, and the reversals, like his uppercuts, aren't as effective to get out of pressure now.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, you gotta be awake.
Sorry, my controller was disconnected for a second.
Yeah, it happens. You see, like with Guile here, I see you walking backwards, trying to get the sonic booms going.
Yeah.
One thing you can do is hold down back, and then you will keep your position, and then go to forward with a punch.
I'm slow. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't have the timing down, but...
And in this version of the game, Guile has another projectile that he can put by hitting both medium buttons.
Oh, jeez!
And if you throw a sonic boom into that projectile, you'll throw a projectile with 2 hits.
That's cool. Alright, this is... Oh! You went right over it! Oh no!
Yeah, so there are moves in the game that have what's called projectile invincibility. So they like if they're already active, they will go through or over or under projectiles. And Ryu's Tatsu, like medium Tatsu kick, will do that.
So, Remy, do you play on stick?
Yes, I have an arcade stick.
Okay, I was gonna say. So, what is the advantage? Is there an advantage? Do you think?
The button placement is more advantageous to hitting like button combinations, but it's not necessarily gonna make you better because there is it has its own learning period to it, and like from day one you're gonna be worse than you on a pad if that's what you're used to.
Oh, right. There you go.
But for myself, like I bought one not necessarily to get better, just out of the one was selling on Kijiji around before Street Fighter 4 came out, when they released the HD remix for Street Fighter 2. So someone was selling a cheap arcade stick on Kijiji in Moncton, and I bought that just for fun and really liked it. So when Street Fighter 4 came out, I started seeking the official ones, and I've been playing fighting games on there since. And I'm at a point now where like a controller might be an interesting handicap, honestly, because like I cannot perform fireballs or any kind of special moves.
Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine it being very difficult to switch from one to the other. Like, I'm playing on a pad right now, but I feel like I'll want to get a stick if I invest enough time into the game.
And that's up to personal taste. The one thing I would recommend is try one first and see if you enjoy it, if you have fun with it. And anyone in the community will usually be more than willing to let you try out your stick or something. And from there, if you like them, then there you can purchase one and
baby,
regret the purchase, I guess. Because like I said, there is a commitment to learning it if you're not familiar.
Oh, that's it.
You lose.
Oh, I lose. Thanks, game. Appreciate that. I did see that happen.
And that is one of the harsher things of fighting games, is that, like, especially in the beginning, like, even at best, you're looking at losing, probably half the time. And losing in a fighting game can feel very, personal. Like, there's nothing else but yourself to blame, and there's, the opponent can be quite a jerk about it, too. So, like, sometimes it can be a little rough, so it takes a while to get used to. I've had issues with losing in the past in certain games. Marvel vs. Capcom is one of the most maddening games to put your tournament life on the line for.
I've only seen videos of old Marvel vs. Capcom 2 footage. And
we had quite a vibrant scene of Marvel 3 in the city, and there's still some very dedicated Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite players locally. Those games are a special kind of flavor where you don't get a lot of second chances, kind of thing. So
gotcha.
once offense gets rolling, once one person gains an advantage, it can snowball very quickly, but it also makes it very exciting when either someone pulls the comeback or someone makes a dramatic mistake that costs them the entire game in a moment of seconds. Or it has a lot of high emotion moments for sure.
So what happened with Marvel vs. Capcom?
Well, I think the general opinion on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite isn't the most positive for sure, and the community that likes that game competitively seems to be satisfied with it, but it definitely didn't break into the mainstream the way that the IP should have. Part of it, again, whether the look of the game wasn't appealing to the fans or whatnot is pretty much up for debate. But it definitely didn't have the same kind of impact or mainstream interest as like the Dragon Ball Fighters did. And them both being kind of similar team games kind of might have had some effect to do with it there too.
So, do I have enough time in between throwing a fireball to throw another fireball to...
No, because it depends. So, I'm not sure what the property is on her reflect, but normally you cannot have more fireball on the screen. So, like, if you try to throw another, you'll only get punches.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, you're right.
I think once I reflect it, you are able to throw another one, though.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to know.
But this character, that's kind of what she does, is she controls the range game with these like very detached limb buttons.
Ah, I tried to do that. Oh, what is this?
This is her V trigger. So these are the gauges you see at the bottom right of the screen.
Yeah, I push both heavy buttons, right?
Yes, so if you do that with Ryu, now your fireballs, you can hold the button in and get more hits. At full
cool.
charge, it becomes, they are much faster, and then at full charge, they become unblockable. Well, not unblockable, but they'll cause a guard break.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's why.
so toasted.
Yeah, and then that's why like those moves carry a big risk. Like an uppercut is the riskiest move in Street Fighter because it has giant recovery, but that's balanced out by the fact that it's normally very high priority on startup, so it'll beat
beats
through most attacks.
Right.
But if it gets blocked, it's very bad.
Okay. So basically, if you throw out an uppercut, you want to make sure like it has to hit.
Yes.
Round one.
Like the uppercut is a very gutsy read of there's going to be an attack that I'm going to blow through or going to be jumping.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Oh no!
for Ryu, he cannot uppercut her limbs.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Oh boy. Ah! So
That's
am I
why
messing
you're-
up the timing on that, or can I not throw you when you stand up?
You have to time it so while they're getting up, they are not vulnerable. But like as soon as their animation completes for getting up, they will then be vulnerable.
Right.
So it takes a little bit of practice and experience to really nail down the timing.
Okay.
But you can throw them at the moment, like you can make it so that the moment they get up, they have to take a throw.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Do you ever miss input?
Yes, misinputs happen. They're part of the, like, I mean, the more experienced you are, the least you're going to get some of those. But even at the top level, you'll still, if you're paying attention, you'll still notice execution mistakes. Even in a game with, some reduced execution barriers like Street Fighter 5.
Oh. Away we go. Thank you for the follow.
And yeah, that's the gist of the game is mostly like everything has risk, and everything is kind of like a risk reward kind of.
Oh no!
and that's what I was trying to react to. And that was good. The timing on the fireballs was short enough that like I was expecting you to charge it, and then I was just gonna hit you with that super.
You lose.
Yeah.
But then you kept just charging them enough to get me to try to hit you and get hit. But then like once you knock me down and charge it up, I know that there's nowhere you can go from there, so I just gonna super.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
And supers in these games generally carry some invincibility, so they'll go through attacks, they'll go through fireballs, because they cost again the other resource that I guess we haven't mentioned, which is the the super bar, which is the three blue chunks at the bottom of the bottom right and left corner.
Right. Okay. So, Remy, how long did it take you to get this good at Street Fighter?
I mean, like it's kind of like a lifelong pursuit, right? So it's you always learn new things, you always get better. Like there's still bad habits that I have that I'm trying to get rid of. There's still so I can still improve reactions here or knowledge here. Like there's always that is the very fun part about fighting games, is that there's no real ceiling. There's always something that you could be doing to improve. And then this carries across other games. Like the more fighting games you play, I feel like you start to gain a more general understanding outside of the specific systems of one versus the other.
Okay.
Which kind of let you absorb them at an accelerated pace the more you do it.
So, would you recommend that people play as many games as they can get their hands on? Or would you say stick to one, or just personal preference?
Well, I mean, like I would recommend finding one that you and starting there and trying to figure out the basics. And if you like that one, once you figure out the basics, maybe that game wasn't what you thought it was or something like that. Like then you can maybe shop around for something that plays more to what you're expecting.
Right. Oh wow.
But I mean.
Ah, there it is. Bison, why?
Yeah, Bison's a character I'm pretty familiar with.
Right on.
Round 2. Fight.
And so, yeah, with the blue bar, you can do what's called special EX special moves as well.
How do you do an EX move?
So if you do your fireball but hit 2 punch buttons instead of just the one, you'll use one blue chunk in the bottom right corner there, but throw a fireball that has 2 hits and has different properties.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. I couldn't remember, like, I went through the tutorial very briefly, but yeah.
And see, like the EX I cannot reflect back.
Right. Oh, poor life decisions were made today. Oh no! Oh, yes. There it is. I'll get you. I swear I'll get you someday.
Oh yeah. Well, perseverance goes a long way. And again, like at this point here, I'm not really taking it easy on you either. I'm just kind of, putting the offense that these characters are designed to put on you.
Yeah.
And then going from there. And again, like part of it comes with the experience of knowing, with Bison specifically, like this range is kind of dangerous. Like you want to be either up close in his face or very far.
Oh, I see.
Because at this range here, he can throw fireballs back at you. He has this button that moves it forward. He has these special moves that.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's called a cross-up as well. Is when a certain angle, to begin with, like jump attacks have to be blocked standing.
Right.
Whereas like crouching kicks have to be blocked crouching, right? But like a jump and attack, you're gonna have to stand up, and then jump and attacks that cross to the other side are called cross-ups, and those will require you to change your block direction to block the attack like this.
Yeah. Can you block in the air?
No. Certain games will let you, but Street Fighter in general has not. Say Street Fighter Alpha to a certain degree had air blocking, or Alpha 3. Yeah, I want to say Alpha 3. But yeah, air blocking is usually not the thing in Street Fighter games. For the most part, that is what makes it the Street Fighter flavor, is that emphasizes ground approach a lot more than say a Guilty Gear or a Marvel, where air mobility is all over the place. Like every character can move in a lot of directions on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. So basically, if we both jump, whoever pushes the faster button wins?
Well, basically it's more just that if you jump and I don't, you've put yourself at a risk that because you can't block in the air, and I have like you can't control your angle once you've left the ground.
Right.
So you've committed to an action that takes a few seconds, and if I didn't say like throw a fireball or something, then I'm just free to hit you out of the air.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. We'll play one more, and then I think we'll do the challenge. So,
Sounds good.
what I was thinking for the challenge, or what I've done with the other fighting games, is I've played a first to 5 wins, so I guess best of 9.
Cool.
Does that sound good for you?
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's the format.
Yeah. So, we'll play first to 5, and
I'll pick my real character.
Remember the name.
yeah. All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
I'll give you the real beating for charity.
I appreciate it.
But Rashid is one of those characters that actually breaks the what I was talking about, like yeah, air mobility off.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's kind of like a beginner trap. Like a lot of experienced players aren't gonna necessarily be it's not gonna be as effective.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rashid, unlike and he has some unique abilities where his dash can be canceled into a version of his special moves. So while he's running at you, if he hits a kick or a punch, he'll transition into special moves instead.
Right. Oh man, I'm just getting the train run on me now. Here we go. Oh. Oh no.
Yeah, Rashid is a very momentum-heavy character for sure. Like he wants to run at you and kind of bully you.
Hmm. All right, so
He has some long-range tools as well, but
fighting games is
It's go time.
all right. So first to 5.
Let's do this.
we have switched sides, by the way, because I timed out the prompt for the rematch.
Okay, that's cool.
It'll also let you pick stage.
Forgotten waterfall.
Hey, I was waiting for you.
Nekali. Strong souls.
Nakali. Dude, he's so
Yeah.
scary looking.
I like scary-looking characters. Like that's generally my vibe.
Yeah.
So he like when the game came out of the cast, he was definitely who I was most interested in, and then turned out that the way they designed him was exactly like up my kind of play style. So he's been my character in this game for sure.
Nice. Yo, Teach, soon as this first to 5 is over, I'll tag you in.
Fight.
Oh boy, your fireball is magic, right?
It's a ground style. Yeah.
Okay. So what do I do in this situation?
KO.
Well, here you would have wanted to block. Like after the first couple knockdowns, I just started testing if you were trying to hit attacks on your wake up or just blocking.
Okay.
Which is, I mean.
Oh, I'm not doing. That's why. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
If your controller doesn't work, it sure is a problem.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Well, I hit you that time, so you know.
Oh yeah, but like I said, this one, like, since we're doing it for reals now, I figured.
Yeah.
I'll give you the.
I appreciate. Yeah, no, I do appreciate it. I gotta learn some way.
Oh, I'm gonna learn today.
My issue here, though, is
Yeah, your controller seems to be syncing out.
no, it's not the controller. It's me being a dummy. I keep clicking out of the window. I'm playing in windowed mode.
Oh yeah, it'll do that. If it's not the focus, then.
Yeah, so I'll click out of the window and then I'm like, oh yeah, let's play. And then I go over and I'm like, why can't I block?
Yeah, it definitely, like, I mean, it can be tough, but it definitely helps if your controller's working.
Yeah. All right, I'm not giving up on my man Ken yet. Who So, if I'm a guy who likes to push buttons, who would you recommend I play?
In this game, if you like to hit a lot of buttons, right now those characters would be probably, let's say, Rashid or Cammy.
Rashid or Cammy?
Yeah, like those are the more like they will bully you with a lot of buttons. Like a lot of their buttons are, from what we were talking earlier, like are at advantage. So once they get you blocking, it's very hard to like, you know, get the momentum back on your favor.
Right. I don't know why I did it. Oh, that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, and that is like Macaulay's specific strength is that he takes you to the corner very quickly if he's successful, and he shines in there. Like his offensive options become that much scarier.
Woohoo! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh yeah, there it is. You were waiting for it, weren't you?
Yeah. So like like in the corner spots, almost everyone wants to jump out. They want to jump over you, get out of there.
Yeah.
So like you're always half looking for it. You know, be ready to counter it. Responding to jumps with uppercut takes, you know, a little bit of practice, a little bit of experience, but it's one of the more satisfying things to do to someone is have them throw a fireball, have them jump over it, and then uppercut them as they jump over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can only imagine. So,
Fight.
here we go.
And see, that's the counter to someone blocking, is then they'll start throwing you.
And then as soon as you tell me you're gonna throw me, I stop blocking. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I'm going down without getting a hit in for real this time. Ah!
There you go. And see, that's where uppercuts will be good, is they are, you know, good reversal tools in that sense.
Oh.
But in this case, like this version of Street Fighter, like your uppercut can still be Depending which version you do, one of them is immune to the air, one of them is immune to throws, and the other one is immune to hits. But if you do EX, it's completely invincible.
Oh boy.
And so his super takes you straight to the corner. Not where you want to be.
Nope. Dang it. Oh yeah, that's it. Cool.
And yeah, he doesn't have a fireball, but he has a kick that controls a very similar range.
Yeah. Oh no! The collie's so ruthless. He kills you, that's just like, that's it.
He wants to eat strong souls. And that's about all anyone knows about Nicole. He wants to eat strong souls.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
It's very anime. I'm down with it.
You watch a lot of anime?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I watch a fair bit. I mean, I'm
Right
a big
on.
fan of Dragon Ball and, One Punch Man and all that stuff.
Dude, so good. So good.
Definitely a big fan of, Death Note and Evangelion and all that stuff, so.
I haven't watched Evangelion, but I hear it's awesome, so I'm gonna have to give it a go.
It's awesome. It's also a little messed up, so like that's kind of what I like about it. So
Okay.
it's definitely subversive in a way.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm big on the old Gundams. I originally watched
Gundam is a thing that like I know I adore, but like there's too much of it out there, and I don't know where to start. And it's
Oh, dude.
it's a little intimidating. So
The newest one, Iron-Blooded Orphans, is awesome.
For those who I wish to protect,
And
I will
if you haven't watched the original Mobile Suit Gundam, the animation has not aged well, but it's still a really good show.
I mean, I watched through Fist of the North Star recently.
Oh, so yeah, you're fine. You don't care. Oh. All right, Cammy. I admit to never having played you, and I don't know your special moves. So
Yeah, that might be rough. She has an uppercut with her kick buttons and a fireball with her kick button.
all right, good to know.
Round two.
And for someone that's not familiar, fireball is
Yeah.
down to
Yeah.
forward with the button.
An uppercut is forward, down,
Forward, down, forward.
Yeah. Cool.
And those are pretty much the two specials she has. She can do a fireball backwards in the air with kick, and she'll get a dive kick. So if you jump and then do that special move backwards, you'll get a dive kick. But that may be a little advanced for
Yeah,
now.
that's not happening for me. Oh my god, her standing
Yeah, that-
medium kick is so long.
It is a very good button. And yeah, so one thing that might not be apparent at first, but like walk speeds are very important. They make a big difference into which character gets to pick the ranges they want to fight at. She
Oh,
has
I see.
one, if not the best walk speed. See where like mine is a lot slower. I don't get to pick the ranges as much as she does. Like I have to try to counter her buttons more than she does mine,
Right.
and that's
Oops.
kind of the stuff that happens with matchups.
Oh boy. Oh, that's all, man.
You're gonna survive, but barely. But see now my walk speed is also very good. Once he goes Super Saiyan here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, man. Nicole, he's like a He's like a scary heavy metal Super Saiyan.
Yeah, no, that's like, you know, for people that know me, that, like, you know, that's my funeral cake right there.
Yeah. Raygun 2K tells me block low most of the time, except if you think they'll overhead. For moves with heavy recovery, slow, dragon punch DP to get it, DP it to get them out of your face. But don't mash DP, because if you whiff, you'll be floating in the air for a good couple seconds, and now you're in their hands. The more you know.
Yeah. So that like we were saying earlier, where uppercuts will, like, you want them to hit, right? Like if they get blocked or they whiff, that's bad because you're out there for what's an eternity in fighting game terms.
Yeah.
But Ray has a point. You want to hold down, like in Street Fighter specific, like at the very least, you want to hold down back as your like. If you're not sure what you're doing, like that's your safest option is holding down back, because it'll block low attacks and it'll block most what are called mid attacks. So most attacks that are done on the ground, you'll block them.
Right.
All attacks that have special properties will be able to hit you out of it. You'll have to stand up to block those, and those are jumps and like Ray mentioned, overheads. And I can show that off real quick here. Like my character has an overhead, yours doesn't.
Okay. An overhead would be like, is Ryu's collarbone breaker an overhead?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for my character, like I have this attack here, and you cannot block that crouching.
I have to be standing.
Yeah. But at the same time, like those attacks, like sweep or low, you cannot block those standing. You're going to have to be crouching. And you're going to run into a lot more of those than you're going to run into the overhead. The overhead is a slow move that isn't very good to control neutral space, but lows are.
Oh!
See, I wasn't playing fair there because most people, you know, they from habit, once they get hit, they'll default back to holding down back. And that'll be.
Oh my god, she's so much faster than anybody else I've tried so far.
Oh yeah, like if you want speed, then that's like Cammy's your girl. And she's one of the more I don't want to say straight like basic, but straightforward characters. So like her strategy is very much like even at the top level, just moving back and forth and controlling that range with those buttons. Like she has very few like tricks per se. Like it's not about mixing up or making the opponent block the wrong way or things like that. It's very much just about controlling the pace, controlling the speed, and making them crack under pressure. Which, you know, even though it's a simple game plan, it's effective up to like Cammy is always represented in high-end tournaments at the top level.
Oh. Nice. All right, well, I lost count, but I think that was 6. So
I think so.
I am gonna go ahead. We'll play one more for all the marbles.
For all the marbles.
And then we're gonna go and open it up and get some viewers in.
Sounds good.
Round 1.
So if there are other people if we're playing with other people, if I'm not in at the moment, can I still watch? What did I just do?
Okay, so that's her slide. So if you do a fireball forward from I think it's half circle, but it might be just a fireball forward with punch. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. It's half circle. Yeah.
So once she's in the air, if you hit punch or kick, you'll get different attacks out of that.
Oh, that's cool.
If you let it go, it's a slide. If you hit kick while you're in the air,
oh, neat.
But it is slower than just jumping and doing a dive kick. Is the risk associated with that one? But you'll cover different angles. See, and that's where like even though that button is real good, if you're predictable with it, I can space it out at such a range that I'll still come out ahead, right?
Oh! Oh yeah, there it goes.
Yeah,
That's
he becomes-
terrifying. Nikali coming at you like that?
He becomes very fast in V-trigger.
Yeah.
And that's Nikali's. Like Nikali is very much like another side to like the Cammy coin. Like his game plan is also very similar, except his speed is a little less and his buttons are a little less control, but he has a little more tricks. He has that projectile and he has a command grab, but the core of his game plan is still standing at a range and hitting buttons that counter the opponent.
Oh. Oh. Damn, that was intense. Alright everybody, the moment you've all been waiting for. We're gonna donate to IWK. So that was that's a pretty obvious one. I'm gonna be donating tonight. But Remy, I'm gonna get you back on the show 2 years from now.
Hey, like I mean, pretty much anything outside 3D action games, I'm pretty terrible. So.
No, I'll get you back on the show 2 years from now after I've trained in a mountain village that has only a small generator that powers a television and a console.
Hopefully an internet connection, because it's very hard to learn fighting games yourself. Like that's the thing. You're very much a product of your competition and who you get to play with and against.
This is very true.
So that has been like, you know, on the global stage why the Japanese have had a leg up in fighting game competitions for such a long time is the arcade scene kind of survived over there and dried out in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So they've been very good at playing all kinds of styles, collaborating, and figuring out all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm. So there we go, everybody. There it is. $20 to the IWK. Remy, thank you for helping me donate $20 this evening.
No worries.
So we're gonna invite some more players, some players from the stream who are watching, to play some Street Fighter.
Sounds good.
So who we
to invite so I figure I'll show you how to invite here. The sub menu, so it's triangle, and then you'll have an invite prompt, and then from there it'll pull up your friend list, and if you hit I'll say square from there, you'll get a prompt to search for fighter IDs.
Ah, there we go, I see it now. Okay, yo chat, give me your fighter IDs. And I am most definitely spending all day tomorrow working on the frame rate issue on this stream.
Yeah, that can be a tricky one to find. For me, generally, I haven't had too many issues with frame drops. The few times that I've had them was mostly because the codec had reset in OBS. But.
Okay. All right, we're getting Teach MD in here. Kaidu.
Oh, that's Jose.
That's Jose. I haven't met Jose.
So Jose is the community organizer for Street Fighter for PEI.
Oh, right on.
So he's, you know, another very experienced player. Probably better than me in this game currently. I wouldn't say probably. I'd say more than likely. But yeah, we'll see. Should be
okay, well, in that case, the stream can watch Kaidu avenge me.
More than likely. I mean...
Okay, the invite has been sent. Weird. Who's running the lobby? Remy, is it me or you?
It is me.
So do you have to invite him?
No, you should be able to invite him. Oh, I know why. Hold on.
Are the lobby settings locked to 2 players?
Nope. The problem is, hold on. Where do I go to my blacklist? Because Jose's on my blacklist from spamming the casual fights for fight money with the, like, you know, just something taped to the A button so the characters just do kicks, and because he's close by, I keep getting matched up with him.
That's awesome.
So I had to blacklist him, and I don't think I've just closed the lobby,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna unblacklist him real quick here.
Alright. I will, I'll try and invite him again. That's really hilarious, though. That's super funny.
Oh, I told him about it multiple times, but you know, wanted that grind that fight money. So the easiest way for me to deal with it was to.
Alright. That should work. And we got real list.
Yeah, and that is right. That was in the chat earlier.
Yeah.
This is the part where like playing with no sound is finally going to get effective.
Have you not been playing with any sound?
No, just because I don't really have a way to output the PS4 silently. And I don't really have control over or your audio setup, so I didn't want to give you a feedback loop on the game sound.
Oh, thank you very much.
So let's see.
Here we go.
Oof, this might be rough because like I have no idea how this matchup even goes. This is my first time trying Sagat versus Bison.
All right, let's do it.
Oh yeah, we got a real fight on our hands.
I'm looking forward to this.
Round 1.
Oh,
Fight.
here we go. Oh boy. This is ever slow on my end. Oh. Oh my gosh. Kaido's bison costume is terrifying.
It's the Halloween one, yeah.
Wow.
Round 2.
That is wild. 25. Yo, thank you for the bits. Yeah, Drifter Ramirez and Clumsy. Thank you both. Woohoo! It's like teleporting. Oh man, this is wild. Oh boy. Here we go. Yeah, chat for anyone who's listening. Remember, we're doing viewer battles now in the arena on stream. So, oh, nice knee. So for anyone who wants to play, feel free to hop in the lobby. I'll shoot you an invite. I'll shoot you an email.
We'll get back to you in 3 to 6
Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, we got a bunch of followers and a couple subscribers earlier in the night, and during the interview, I didn't get a chance to shout you guys out, so I want to give you guys a shout out right now. Thank you to our first 4 subscribers: Callus64nia, Drewstein69, Drifter Ramirez, and Jash098. And followers that we picked up tonight. Thank you to Quizaic, Jesus Christ, TeachMD, Rubber Ducky, SS Gangsta, and Koriachi. Thank you guys for following tonight. Every little bit helps.
Every one of them?
Pardon?
I said I feel like I know all of them.
Aye, man, that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, no, like you're definitely delayed.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely. It is a little bit delayed. Man, it must be
And Bison win.
It must
Well,
be.
it doesn't prioritize the playback versus the actual match.
No.
So the playback you'll get kicked out of watching sometimes and stuff like that.
Okay, I get you. Oops.
Round 1.
No, I didn't wanna. I didn't wanna.
Fight.
No, I don't wanna leave the lounge. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Cool. Alright, here we go. You can do it! Don't let him perfect you! There we go! Boom! Big kick.
Perfects are more of a mental thing. Like at a certain point, you just stop kind of caring about them.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but
Round 2.
2. Fight! Oh baby! So this is what high-level Street Fighter looks like.
Sometimes.
Cool. Right. The amount of footsies going on here.
A little bit. I mean, like, footsies is usually kind of a specific term of, like, poking and counter-poking and playing at ranges.
Okay, never mind, I lied.
In this part here, like, we mostly kind of corner-trapped each other back and forth.
Okay, cool. It's funny watching you guys play because on my end, you slow right down and then you speed up super fast like a Dragon Ball, like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Oh, that was wicked. Tiger uppercut in slow-mo.
That would look pretty sick for sure.
Go.
Bison's throw range.
So
Didn't do as bad as I was expecting my first time playing that match. So.
yeah, man. No, I thought it was pretty good. So Remy, what's how important is playing with sound?
Wins.
Sound. Well, I mean, it's a pretty big part, right? Like but psychologically speaking, like it's been proven that people will react faster to audio signals than visual signals.
Oh.
So that's a big part of it. And I mean, like it can help you maintain timing, specifically for like combos and stuff that'll require a specific timing.
Okay, cool.
So it's definitely a big part of it, but you don't necessarily need it. I mean, there's blind players that have been successful at fighting games.
That's insane.
So it's there's ways to make anything work, really. For anyone that's curious, like the two blind players that I know, one was definitely Blind Combat, and then I can't remember the name of the other, but they were both decent at Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat.
Holy shit, dude.
I'll show you the epitome of
So, me versus Jose now. So you guys are gonna watch. You guys are gonna watch me struggle through the learning process. Let's do it.
Let's see.
I believe in us.
He's playing Vega, and all of us that know him know he doesn't know how to play that character. So that's at least that.
Intoxicate you.
All right. I'm gonna take that all the way to the bank.
For
Yeah,
those who I
use
wish
that
to
medium
protect,
kick.
Yep.
I will fight you.
All right.
Round one. Fight.
Oh.
Oh.
So if he's jumping at you, one of the attacks you want to use is back and medium punch.
Back medium punch. Okay.
You won't get to use it there, but there you go. But back and medium punch is like a little spiking attack.
Oh, there we go.
That attacks above your head. Yep.
Oh, I'm dead. Wow. Vega jumps around real like, damn.
Yeah, that's always been Vegas' thing, is he can go wall to wall. So like air thing, it generally depends how effective it is in the game. In this particular game, most people consider it to not be very effective, like at the top levels, obviously.
Right.
Not, the intermediate and beginner players will struggle at different places, but in terms of the very top, he's not considered a very strong character at the moment. Doesn't have the comeback factor and the snowball effect that a lot of the stronger characters have.
Oh no! Ah, I thought I was being right sneaky, waiting for him to jump.
Well, the uppercut was a good idea. It was just face,
Yo, thank you for the
or
follow.
mistimed.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing about fighting games too, that can make it a little harder to pick up and learn, is that the feedback can be a little hard to parse on that. I did an uppercut, I thought it'd be jumps, what happened? But like, oh, you did it like a fraction too early or a fraction too late.
Yeah.
There's still a window in terms of timing you're gonna have to hit and stuff like that.
Round one.
All right, here we go.
Fight.
Oh!
Took the shirt off.
Did he ever? I'm not quite sure what to do when he starts jumping like that.
You can meet him in the air. Cammy can throw out of the air.
Oops.
So you can jump at him and try to hit throw,
Okay.
which will be very effective for the most part. Also, just jumping and hitting like a fast button because like as long as you're hitting him out of the attack, you're not necessarily letting him dictate the pace at that point. But those slides, are what we call punishable if you block them. So if you block them, you can counterattack, and he cannot block.
Right. Oh, he got me! Oh, he got me! Same, Cammy. I feel the same way. Right on.
He definitely preyed on some some
My beginner habits.
some beginner stumbler blocks there.
Yeah.
The corner tricks with Vega aren't necessarily something that'll trip up a lot of players.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the more experienced players.
But it happens.
Yep.
All right. So now I got Kaidu versus Realist coming up next. So how's this gonna go?
I suspect, her cameo will fare better than yours, but will more than likely still get beaten by Jose.
Yeah, right on. So as far as Atlantic Canada goes, what are the most popular fighting games right now?
Well, I mean, if like by fighting games here, I'm going to exclude Smash because Smash has the largest community. Between the different Smash games and their crowd is a little, I want to say, younger than ours.
Yeah.
Because they have presence in colleges and universities. Our group tends to be more of arcade enthusiasts, which tends to skew a little older. But we're welcome anyone of all ages really. Let's see. The popular fighting games like Street Fighter is definitely like anywhere is the main course. Dragon Ball Fighters is really popular. A lot of people are playing Tekken 7. And this is hard because like it comes down to personal taste as well. So like for myself,
Right.
like I don't play BlazBlue or the new BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Yeah.
I think that's fairly popular as well, but I wouldn't be able to speak from personal experience. But like I know that the game is active locally and people are playing it, so there's definitely more than likely groups and people to be found playing that game locally as well.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like all the current fighting games have pretty healthy scenes.
Yes and no. I mean, like some of them will. There's no real scene locally for like the King of Fighters or anything like that currently that I know of, or I'm probably the only person playing Killer Instinct here and there. It really depends. I know there's a few guys playing Mortal Kombat and NRS games in Cape Breton and around town, but we don't necessarily have organized events.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm just and are there any of the games you play, who do you think who are the best players, would you say?
So for Street Fighter, like you mean local or on like at what stage are we talking about?
Okay, yeah, let's go with locally around Halifax and then around Atlantic Canada.
Okay, so around Halifax, let's say Street Fighter, I'd probably put my friend Jordan or LV Deceptions at number 1. I don't think too many people would argue that. And then I'd probably selfishly put myself first. Screw you, Kevin. Or second. Screw you, Kevin.
Hey man, you got to be your biggest fan.
Yeah, and that's people know what I'm talking about. Inside joke there. And then for Atlantic Canada, we would have to include Rick, who's also known as Realist or Old Man out of New Brunswick. Like he's kind of I hate to admit it, but he's kind of a very gifted player that like tends to be a top threat whatever he plays.
Yeah. Why do you hate to admit that?
Because I run into him all the time. So he's definitely one of my nemesis, if you will, in Atlantic Canada in terms of not personal nemesis, but definitely competitive ones, right?
Yeah.
And he's definitely been a thorn in Jose's side as well and stuff. So and so he would be a top contender in a lot of games. You know, he's very strong at Blaze Blue. He's very strong at well, I don't think he's actively playing Dragon Balls right now, but usually any game he plays actively, he's going to be a threat. I'm not sure where Steve is now. He goes by Psychic Steve. He's St. John or Moncton probably right now. He's usually a very strong player in anything he plays. I don't think he's been playing a lot of Street Fighter though. But a lot of Guilty Gear, a lot of Dragon Ball. Let's see, who else is?
Now, do you guys get a lot of? Do you have a lot of inter-provincial tournaments between just maybe say the Maritimes? Like, does Halifax travel? Does PEI travel? Does New Brunswick travel?
Yeah, we tried to, like, at least like the Maritime pretty well connected. Like we've not necessarily mingled that much. It seems that like we've had I've met people in Montreal and Toronto and a few other scenes, and some other guys have too. And we've had a few guests here and there for certain events. But for the most part, the main thing has come from Atlantic Canada.
Cool, right on, man. Yeah,
We've had Newfoundland come down a few times.
Really?
Yeah. The Newfoundland guys are real cool too. I wouldn't be able to tell you who, at which game out there right now though, but they're generally pretty strong players as well.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of healthy competition.
Well, and that's the trouble. You want to show up and hey, I lost to that guy last time. Watch me blow him up this time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the driving factor.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Because I know, for example, in, let's say, Super Smash Brothers, at least in Atlantic Canada, it's been a couple of guys have been head and shoulders above everyone else. They had been for a long time. There was a period of about a year where I think one guy won every single weekly the whole year, something ridiculous like that.
Oh, and I mean we've had those eras go and end. Like I won every local for Marvel vs. Capcom going on a year, but never won a tournament for that whole year.
That's wild.
Like outside of our locals, and then I won an event later on for that game, but then it was so. We do have Rick has won. I want to say almost every event we've had that he's been in for Street Fighter V since the game came out. Him and Jose have won a few. I don't remember winning one when they were there. So
now, oh man, I had my question. It's on the tip of my tongue. You're playing right now, so I won't distract you too much.
No worries. I'm not putting 100% stock in my to fight and be entertaining here. So.
Yeah. So what is? Oh man, that's actually going to drive me nuts. I had the question on the tip of my tongue. Let's see. You're talking about
terrible feeling.
Oh, I know. Okay, you're talking about winning weeklies, but never winning.
And you were talking about Smash and having issues with the dominance. There were a few players being clear above everyone else.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, but it definitely I think in 2016 was a real issue where we had a final boss situation going on. Oh, now I remember what I was going to ask. Do you find a big difference between playing against someone that you know, like someone you play a lot, versus playing against someone fresh that you've never played against before?
It is completely different for sure, because you're going to have to feel out the person you've never played. Like maybe you're expecting something out of a character that they never do, or maybe that your friend that plays the same character has a way different approach. And like a lot of times, because of like the back and forth in terms of available options and stuff like that, you'll start playing the other player more than like the character or the specific like matchup like in game.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like when people talk about tier lists and which characters are objectively the best, and then somebody shows up with a character that's a bad character, but they play well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like you could see played a specific way on paper, but because you've played it, with that person so many times, it plays out very differently because you're playing to each other's habits instead of the character strengths.
Right. Yeah. So what do you look to do to test your opponent when you start?
Usually, I'm gonna start coming at them right away and see if they can if they can keep me out of their range, and then I will also see if they can stop me from jumping, because that is very important. Like if they're not good at jumping, big avenue for damage.
Yeah, no, that is big. That's very important. Here we go. Boom. So who would you say the top characters are in Street Fighter V right now?
Guile, Cammy, Minot,
Round 2.
Akuma. Probably it.
Okay, cool. Because they seem like a fairly diverse cast as far as playstyle is concerned.
Yeah, for the most part, they are.
So what do they have anything in common that makes them top characters, or is it just they're 4 different characters that happen to have very good tools?
Oh, sorry, kind of got caught in the action there.
No, that's okay. It's intense.
So it really varies. I mean, Cammy it's very much that like she, the game plan is very straightforward, and it is effective against most of the cast. Guile has a very low risk range control, and is pretty good up close still. So like he's just very tough all around. He's the one character whose fireball game is tricky enough to not necessarily lose mostly to the anti-fireball options that the game presents.
Okay.
Round 1.
Because of like the what I was showing earlier, where you can have multiple hits and stuff.
Different fireballs, yeah. Oh my. Ugh, these late night streams, they're not even that late. I'm a sucker. I wake up super early and try to get the stream in the evening. Oh man. Here he goes. Here he goes. Uh-oh. What the hell was that?
Oh, I messed up. Like he basically he knew he wasn't gonna kill me, so he tried what's called a reset. So he tried to make an attack that was gonna be tight but wouldn't combo.
Yeah.
So that he would be able to reset the situation and get another combo going and kill me.
Okay.
But what ended up happening is like I knew to do that because of the resource issue. So like.
Yeah. Oh man.
He's trying to be fancy, but he like That was just immediate. Like he could have just hit a button and it would have had the same effect.
Yeah.
But in this
Putting on a
case,
show.
yeah, he's trying. God bless him, he's trying. If he wants to put on a show, he should stick to Bison. What was it? I'm totally lost on the point I was making before.
So I think I had initially asked you,
Oh, what
Is-
made them strong?
is
Yes.
there anything that they have in common that make them top tier characters, or is it unique to each individual character?
I mean, like for most of the ones I named, mobility is very good, except for Guile. Like Guile is kind of the exception, but all of them will have good mobility, good options off of their knockdowns, good, a very good neutral options. And then Guile is just like he has similarly the same, but not quite in the same way. His mobility isn't really anything special, but his projectile game makes up for every other aspect. And then again, very strong.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, mobility is very big. Like being able to dictate where the is is one of the strongest abilities when it comes to actually being a top tier character. Like that is probably the first thing that gets them there.
Waterfall.
But if you'll shoot it for 1 sec, I'm gonna have a 2-minute break here and I'll be right back.
Oh, am I playing against you now?
No, you are playing against Jose here.
Oh, okay.
So I just need to quickly step out and I'll be right up.
Cool.
Right back.
Sounds
Sorry.
good. All right, teach me to play the game. So, guys, I'm gonna figure out what's going on with the frame rate issue. We'll probably wrap up within the next half hour here, so I can have a look at that before I go to bed tonight. I want to apologize for that because it's totally not cool. But I don't know why I'm having it now if I didn't have the issue at all the first week. It's only something that's just started happening this week.
So it's you.
So, we'll take a look at that.
Round 1.
But first, let's see if I can beat Jose.
He did pick Fong, which is like widely considered to be one of the worst characters. But again, Rick over in New Brunswick has won many local tournaments with the character. So.
Oh boy, I'm getting whopped. Oh. Oh, he did the thing. All right. I'll get him next time.
Playback got a little choppy for me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a little. The viewer battles is a little choppy, like the
Round 2.
stream. Round 2.
Fight.
Okay, let's go.
Himself in the corner. Never good.
Nope. Oh man. He's crossing me up like there's no tomorrow. Oh no, he caught me when I tried to do my punch.
Yeah, that is what. That is what
that's
Fong
it.
will do. Now he's trolling. Okay, he was trying to get that
Yeah.
instant overhead.
Yeah, he was waiting for the kick.
Yeah, well, that is a way that certain characters have a natural, like an overhead, like we showed earlier, can still mess with someone that's blocking low. Is they will instantly jump back while hitting a button that goes downward, so they will hit you in a crouching position while they jump back.
Okay.
Which you would have to block standing, which is it's extremely hard to react to, which is why it's called an instant overhead.
Right. Good to know, man. Good to know. Oh, well, it's okay. We got a first to two. So.
Round one.
But I might, might have to head out soon after this match here myself.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what if you want to keep the lobby going with the people here.
You know what? I will. I need to fix the. I need to fix the stream quality. So I think when you head out, I'm gonna figure out what my issue is.
Sounds good. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get to some other duties.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand.
The instant overhead again. He really those jumping away kicks that I was mentioning. Like he just keeps trying to set those up.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that. I'm not. I should be trying to watch for it, but I'm trying to process so much other stuff right now.
Yeah,
that
and that's where it, like, you know, that's the jerk part about it is he's aware of that. That's why he's doing that. That dude. Want to stand because Akuma will win that battle against this character.
Right.
Like, waiting his turn and hitting the buttons like that. That will usually favor Akuma.
Okay. Oof.
But he's pulling out the trickery, you know.
Yeah.
Really letting you get your offense started, and also, you know, it takes a little bit of experience to know how to get your offense started and how to keep it rolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can see that. Huh. All right. Well, I'm just gonna let chat know that we're gonna end it cut off early tonight so that I can fix this because it's bothering me as much as it's probably bothering everybody who was tuning in.
And that's fair. Yeah, like technical issues are always kind of a weird one on a live broadcast because like fixing it kind of is a hard balancing act to try to fix that while doing your broadcast.
Oops, I spelled that wrong. Anyway, Remy, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was a good time. Always good. Glad to try to expose more people to some fighting game action. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, drive some interest. Again, if anybody's interested, check our Street Fighter Halifax or the Halifax Blaze Blue Association if you're into the anime games, and from there, we can help you get started.
Is that on Facebook?
Yes, that is on Facebook. And,
all right.
Hopefully, we'll have Discord resources in the future. If you're a self-starter, go ahead and create one and share it with us, and we'll be sure to join it.
Yeah, and make sure that you check out smash.gg/CGCS if you're looking for some big fighting game tournament action this October. You can register now.
And some of the players you've seen tonight will be there. So you get to, practice up and try any strategy you want on them.
Right on. Anyway, thanks, Remy. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
You too. Later. Okay. So the one thing that I'm wondering...
Round 2.